musicians have to deal with very often, which is fear or stage fright. So I'm going to ask for a volunteer to right now for maybe 1 minute, something very short, to go live on Facebook and play something. If you don't play an instrument, you can sing. If you don't sing either, you can give a very short lecture about a topic that you really like. Just for 1 minute. Not all at once, please. Okay, hold on. Now let's breathe. Everything's fine.
I nominate Ellen.
That's not how it works. No.
Aw, come on. All right, Joyce.
Right.
Okay.
I don't even know how to go to Facebook.
Okay, here's my question. I have a question for you. How did you feel when I asked you to go live? How did you feel about the idea of going live for 1 minute and just play something? Okay, let's make it simple. From 1 to 10, being 1, you were completely at peace, completely relaxed, and 10, you wanted to just run away, and you were just freaking out. Where were you in this scale? Okay, 9, 8.
Probably 8.
1, okay. 3. Freddy, how many?
11.
How many? I couldn't hear.
11.
11. Oh, 11.
11.
Okay. So maybe I can. Okay, 11. So you're the winner, Freddy. I'm gonna take you as a as a volunteer. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to try to find the thought about this catastrophic future that was making you feel 11. Try to find that thought and try to describe it to us.
It's just that I haven't been present on social media like in the past like a long time. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm feeling like, what about like just going live and just playing just randomly? That's gonna look very weird. I mean,
okay, so very important. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's just being very perceptive of judgment. Like,
yes.
What is this guy doing after all these years, just showing up playing Bach, you know?
Beautiful. So this is something very important. We need to start realizing that the reason we were feeling this fear is because we had a thought that we were not paying attention to, that we were not questioning. So right now, if you make an effort to see what's really happening now, you can see that there is no reason to be afraid. So right now, we are just safe having this class, this conversation, and there is not a real threat to our lives. So the reason you were feeling this 11 is because there is a thought that was telling you, okay, if I play, all these people that I appreciate and admire, they are going to judge me. And they are going to say maybe negative things about me. So can you see in just a few seconds, the mind created all this very, very painful story. And we need to start realizing that that's just one story out of infinite. That's just one option. And I understand that the mind tends to go to the most negative because even evolutionarily speaking, that's why we survive, because we are able to, to project danger, and that's why we survive. But today, in this society, when we are going to play music, we know there's not a real threat. And this fear and this pain, it's just created in our heads. So okay, I'm gonna ask you, Freddy, 4 questions, and then I'll explain why. Okay, so first question. And this first question is about the thought that was causing all this fear. So first question: is it truth? Is it truth that you were going to play, and then all these people on social media was going to judge you? I'm asking you.
Sorry, I thought you were gonna list the questions I'm gonna answer. So if it's one by one,
Yes.
is it true that I was gonna? I think so. Yes. I mean,
Okay.
either in a positive or in a negative way, but judgment was gonna happen. I mean, regardless. I mean, it could be good. Just say like, "Hey, long time no see," or like, "You're around," or
Yeah.
"This guy sucks," or like, "What is his intonation doing?" But yeah, I think so.
That's very nice. But remember that you said 11. So if you said 11, it's because the judgment was not going to be super good, right?
Right. I mean, yeah, it's like, I don't know. It feels weird. It felt weird. Like me, like if I imagine the scenario of me doing it and suddenly just popping out in people's feeds after a long time, like this is gonna be kind of random and weird. So yeah, that's why.
So think about it, because if I ask you, instead of going live to play something, if I ask you, hey, Fred, let's go bike. Let's go to the mountain and just go bike. You wouldn't feel any fear, because in this case, the projection, it's super positive. You're imagining like a really nice day with me biking.
Right.
So the reason you said 11 is because that thought was super, super difficult. And this judgment about you playing wasn't necessarily super, super nice. Okay.
Right.
So second question. Is it really true that you were going to play and everybody was going to be judging you? Is it really true?
I think so.
Okay, beautiful. Third question. How do you feel when you think that thought?
Awkward.
Awkward. And again, the thought is that you're going to go live, you're going to play for all these people, and they're going to be judging you. And remember you said 11.
Yeah. I think now that I'm thinking more about it, is that my feeling was not so much about being afraid, but about being awkward.
Okay.
So yeah.
And where do you feel this awkwardness in your body?
In my throat.
In your throat. Okay, perfect. Okay, so fourth question and last question. Who would you be without that thought?
A more confident person, I guess. Yeah.
And follow-up question. Who do you think is going to play better? A person with this, discomfort, with this pain in the throat, or a person who is confident?
Of course, the person is confident. Yeah.
And again, all this is very easy to say. I know that. One thing is to be talking about this, another is to actually, experience this and actually feel everything I'm saying in the body. But again, it's another skill. It's another skill. Next time you need to perform, next time you need to talk in front of people, just try to see what's the thought that's bothering you. Try to see what's the thought that's draining all this energy. And then just ask yourself, who would I be without this thought? how am I going to perform if I don't have this noise in my head? If I'm just really focused on the performance, because chances are you were not playing, you were not thinking about, like the actual moment of playing. Maybe a little bit, but there's so much energy going to this projection, this very negative projections. And by the way, this question, it's the work of a really amazing teacher called Byron Katie. I don't know if you know her. She has this amazing work. She has some sheet and some turnover question. It's really amazing work. And the idea is to show us how big is the influence of the mind over our feelings and body. Okay, 5 minutes. Do you have any questions? We can talk about this topic for hours. It's really fascinating, and I can show you many more games or examples, activities. But remember, the idea is to at least to have an idea. These two lessons were just a very, very short introduction to all the things that I teach in this program. Yes, Janet.
Byron Katie has a really good podcast if anybody's interested, because
She's awesome. I
have listened to her. I have a sister that has tried to use those 4 questions on me, and I'm very stubborn about letting go of my emotion, mine. But anyway, thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Thank
Okay,
you, Freddie.
Yeah, thank you, Freddie. Before we go, again, I would like to do a body scan meditation, because it's always really nice to end the class with this. And also because as musicians, we need to really learn how to connect with the body. We really need to develop the intelligence of the body. I think it's a big mistake in music education that we teach how to play the instrument, and then when we have all these injuries, when we have all this discomfort, then we start talking about the body. And that's one of the main things I want to change. We need to learn how to connect with the body. We need to learn how to play our bodies so that we can play an instrument. Okay, so again, I'm gonna ask you to lay down on the floor if you can. It's definitely better. I encourage you all to do it. If not, you can stay sitting. That's also fine. But it's way better if you lay on the floor. And I'm gonna start and end the meditation with the bells, and I'm gonna be guiding this meditation. So let's begin by paying attention to how we're breathing right now. Don't try to make it slow or deep. Don't try to breathe the way you were breathing yesterday or during the last meditation. Try to see how you're breathing right now. And if you notice your mind wandering about the past or planning about the future, very gently bring your attention back to your breath. If you find yourself again thinking about something, very gently with compassion, let's move the awareness back to our breath. And maybe try to see more details about how you're breathing. What areas of your body are moving when you breathe? How is the air feeling? And ask yourself, is there something more that I can relax? Is there something more I can let go of? Now let's try to have a sense of how it feels to be supported by the floor. Try to feel your own weight. And maybe appreciate that the earth is supporting you. There's nothing you have to do. Just relax, let go, and appreciate that the earth is supporting you. And if you notice that your mind is wandering again, bring your attention back to your body. Not only try to feel the floor holding you, but also try to feel the space around your body. And we focus again on our breath. What information are you receiving from your breath right now? Now, very slowly, let's bring some movement to our fingers, to our feet. Very slowly, you can sit. You can also stretch if you feel like. If you're sleeping, you can wake up a little bit. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me. And Carol, I'll be super happy. I know we talk about two lessons with you all, but I'll be super happy to have more. Yeah, or even you can join
Thank you,
with the kids. I don't know. We can. Up to you. I'll be super happy to.
Glad. Good. I'm
you
glad you
will
offered that. I'll tell everybody on screen. I'm going to reiterate this over email. Gopal is going to be working with our kids for the first 2 weeks of summer session. Generally speaking, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but we just agreed on an actual schedule. So I will send you the real dates, and all of you are welcome. It will be at 10 o'clock in the morning on 6 days that the orchestra kids are with us for summer session. So more to follow on that. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Right.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Gopal, thank you. Thank you. And
Thank
thank
you
you
very
everybody
much.
for joining and being
Thank
a
you
part
so much.
of all of
Thank
this.
you
Thank you all. Thank you
so
all.
much.
I had a great time.
Look forward to seeing you again.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, me too.
Bye.
Me too.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.